Africa is the second largest continent. The Atlantic Ocean lies to the west, the Indian Ocean to the east, the Mediterranean Sea and Red Sea lie to the north. A small piece of land in the northeast corner connects Africa to Asia. There are 54 countries in Africa, including 6 island nations, Madagascar being the largest. Africa is made up of 4 physical subregions. North Africa, East Africa, and West Africa occupy the northern part of the continent. The southern half is one large subregion called Central and Southern Africa. Africa is often called the plateau continent. A plateau is a flat, elevated landform that rises sharply above the area surrounding it. Much of the center of Africa is high, dry plateau. At the edges of the continent, this plateau sometimes slopes to a coastal plain, but in other places it drops sharply to the sea. There are huge low-lying areas called basins in several places on this plateau. 4 mighty rivers flow from these basins to the sea. Sometimes the land falls steeply as the rivers flow downstream. North Africa. The Sahara is the main physical feature in North Africa. It is the world's largest desert. The Sahara has sand dunes, bare rock, gravel plains, and mountains. The Nile, Africa's longest river, runs through this desert and empties into the Mediterranean Sea. The Atlas Mountains stretch across the northwestern part of this region. West Africa. South of the Sahara lies the Sahel region. The plains of the Sahel are mostly dry grassland. The Niger River runs through the western Sahel. This is the 3rd longest river in Africa. Also in the Sahel is a large lake called Lake Chad. This lake shrinks and grows depending on the season. In general, it has been getting smaller for many years. East Africa. East Africa is home to the Great Rift Valley, a series of trenches and tears in the ground due to tectonic plate activity. The area is geologically active and features volcanoes, hot springs, geysers, and frequent earthquakes. 3 large lakes lie in or near the Great Rift Valley: Lake Tanganyika, Lake Victoria, and Lake Malawi. To the east of Lake Victoria, Mount Kilimanjaro rises from the plains at 19,340 feet. This is the highest point in Africa. The Ethiopian highlands lie to the north of the lake. This rugged area covers of the country of Ethiopia, Central and Southern Africa. The Congo Basin is the major physical feature of Central and Southern Africa. This large, low-lying area sits at the center of the continent. The Congo River loops through the basin and empties into the Atlantic Ocean. Farther south lies the Zambezi River. This river has many waterfalls. The largest of these is the beautiful Victoria Falls. 2 deserts, the Namib and Kalahari, make up much of the southern part of this region. The equator runs through the middle of Africa. As a result, the climate in most of Africa is warm all year. However, some regions are very wet and others are very dry. Places near the equator are warm all year long because the sun is directly overhead all year. As the air over the equator warms, it expands and rises. Once it rises, the air begins to cool. If the air is wet, it drops moisture in the form of rain as it cools. In Africa, this rain falls in wide bands north and south of the equator. After rising, the air begins to move toward the north and south poles. By this time, though, the air is quite dry. As a result, little or no rain falls on parts of Africa farther away from the equator. This lack of rainfall has created vast deserts in northern and southern Africa. Most of North Africa is very dry. Some places in the Sahara can go for 6 or 7 years without rain. Desert and desert scrub cover most of North Africa. Few plants grow in the desert, only small trees, thorny bushes, cactuses, and a few other plants have adapted to this dry climate to make up desert scrub. Areas of North Africa near the Mediterranean Sea enjoy a milder Mediterranean climate. Here, it is warm all year, with dry summers and short, rainy winters. Africa south of the Sahara has many types of climate and vegetation. Differences in elevation create much of this variety. If you travel in Africa toward the equator from either north or south, you will find 4 main climate regions. They are desert, steppe, tropical savanna, and tropical rainforest. Only a few areas, the highlands in eastern Africa and the southern tip of Africa, have moderate climates. More of Africa is covered by deserts than any other continent. Around Africa's deserts stretch steppe areas, or partly dry grasslands. Directly south of the Sahara is a steppe area known as the Sahel. Because of drought and human activity, the Sahel is gradually becoming a desert. This has brought famine and hardship to people living in the area. Much of Africa south of the Sahara and Sahel is made up of savannas, tropical grasslands with scattered trees. The savannas have wet and dry seasons. A wide variety of animal life lives in the savannas. African governments have set aside many savanna areas for the protection of endangered animals such as elephants and lions. Finally, steamy rainforests cover land near the equator. This climate area is hot, and rain falls daily. Africa's rainforests have many hardwood trees that provide good timber. Deforestation has also been a major concern here, and many of Africa's rainforest areas are disappearing.